Good evening, one and all on Facebook, on JokePit. It is the return of UK Buzzwords, the comedy game show where you, the audience, can win money just by the comedians saying certain words that you will have on your Buzzword spreadsheet. But how does it work? Well, you cross off any of the words that you hear the comedians use that are on your list. First to 3 wins £2, first to 5 wins a fiver, and if you get all 10, you win £20. Now, message the stream when you've got 3, 5, or 10 words. Now, we also have the fuck sweepstake. You guess how many times the word fuck, or any conjugation of the word, is said by our comedians on the night. And the nearest guess at the end of the night wins the pot. Now, we do have a few people playing tonight, so best of luck to you guys. Hope, well, for your sake, that the comedians hit those words, but for their sake, they're hoping that they don't hit the words, because if they can manage to go through their 10-minute set without saying 3 of those words, then they themselves win a fiver. It's in their interest not to say them, it's in your interest very much for them to say them. Now, if you're wanting to get involved in a future show, maybe buy tickets, buy the bingo tickets for future shows, follow at UK Buzzwords on Facebook and also at UK Buzzwords on JokePit. Now, without further ado, shall we get on to our first guest? Yes, I hear you cry. Well, we'll probably spend the next 10 minutes, to be honest, just prattling on about his name. Let us introduce to you what seems like a bit of deja vu, Mr. Simon Hall. How are we doing, Simon?
Yeah, I'm very well. I'm very well.
Good, good. Have you been up to much at all?
Not really. I'm a teacher, so it's the middle of the summer holidays. So it gets to about third week. Thank goodness there's a snooker on, because it gets to the third week and I've got literally nothing to do by then. So I go a bit mad.
Yeah, so the snooker sort of keeps you sane.
The snooker has kept me sane this week, yeah.
Snookers keep you sane this week. Okay. Well, I cannot wait to hear your 10 minutes. As you say, you might prattle on about your name for 10 minutes. Who knows? But I'm very much looking forward to it, Simon.
Thanks very much. So my name's Simon. Here's the thing. I've never really liked the name Simon. It means snub-nosed in Greek. I found out from a magnet. You know, when you're like really young, you're like 7 years old, and you want that thing that connects you to like who you are. You're trying to find your identity. We went in as a family and saw like the rack of magnets, and we're having a look at them all. And there's like my brothers, like Michael. He is the sword of justice. He is the bringer of truth. We found my sisters, Eleanor. She is a symbol of beauty. She will bring the world together with her kindness and her wisdom. Then we found mine, Simon, snub-nosed. Like, what does that even mean, snub-nosed? According to my dad, it means I'm a stuck-up prick. I don't really like the name Hall either. Hall, H-A-L-L. I say H-A-L-L because it's important that you specify, because people always seem to get confused about what kind of hall your surname might be. As if, I don't know, like they mistake your booking for a reservation for like a delivery from a haulage company. My dad always had a clever way around this. He would say, it's Hall as in Royal Albert. It's Hall as in Royal Albert, which is fine because we all know what the Royal Albert Hall is. But when I was 4, and that was the first time I'd ever heard anyone say anything like that, it was just a bunch of words that my dad said. And my dad is one of those kinds of people that when he finds a funny bunch of words to say, he will say them every single time he gets the opportunity. For the last 30 years, no one has said to my dad, will you put the kettle on? Without him going, wouldn't fit. And I'm sure there are lots of people out there who can relate who we and yeah, that's exactly what my dad is like, right? So my dad used this phrase all the time. I never understood what it meant. So then you get to that age of like, I don't know, like 11, where you start to find out what rude words mean. Yeah. And it was about that point. Like, I'll give you an example, right? couple of weeks before the end of primary school, we found out that our teacher, Mrs. Hoare, her name meant something else. It was a shame that we'd only found out so late into the year, but for those last 2 weeks, we went to town on the poor woman. Like, no wonder she had to teach reception. But it was about this time that I discovered what a Prince Albert was. And I think I've got the two terms confused in my head somewhere along the line. Prince Albert, Royal Albert. Because I started secondary school, and on the first day, the teacher was trying to find my name on the register. She said, "What's your surname?" And I went, "It's Hall." As in dick piercing. So, what I really wanted to do, because I've always hated my name, when I started secondary school, I was trying to get myself a nickname. I really wanted the nickname Random Hero, right? And I thought I'd come up with a plan about how I was going to get myself that nickname. What I did was I used to go and drop in random facts into other people's conversations. Yeah, like my mates were having a chat about the football, and I'd walk up next to them and I'd be like, "Hey guys, did you know that flocky knocking nihilopilification is the longest word in the English language? And it means to estimate the value of something as valueless." Which I would say is a pretty pointless word. But then that would be a great piece of flocky knocky nihilopilification. So that didn't work. So here's the problem, right? I couldn't get myself that nickname, right? Because you can't give yourself a nickname, can you? Yeah, someone needs to give you a nickname. Nicknames, they need to happen naturally. Nicknames are like mother's milk. They need to be organic. So you can imagine my delight when one day I'm walking to school, when across the road, one of my friends shouts out to me and goes, "Yo, Simeone Pepperoni, I've got a nickname." I went, "Yo, man, where'd you come up with that?" He went and said, "I don't know. It just came to me." It's organic. I was so excited, man. I was so excited. I didn't even care that it was a shit nickname. Yeah, like Simeone Pepperoni. What a crap nickname. Yeah, but I was determined to forever be known. I was going to go to my grave as Simeone Pepperoni. It lasted till lunchtime. A bigger Simon came up to me in the playground. He went, "Yo, you stole my nickname." Now, ladies and gentlemen, I'm a pacifist. Mainly because I abhor physical violence in all its forms, but also because I'm really scared of getting punched in the face. Which, as a thing people should be scared of, I think more people should be scared of getting punched in the face. Like, if I'm perfectly honest. Be scared of sharks all you want, but I've never seen one on a Friday night at Wetherspoons. Plenty of geezers who'd happily punch you in the face though. One or two of the women as well. So in order to negate this fear of being punched in the face, I've developed some seriously killer negotiation skills. Right? I can get myself out of any situation in which I might be threatened by using my amazing communication skills. Right? So this Simon came up to me in the playground. He went, "Yo, you stole my nickname." Right? And I deployed my killer negotiation skills. I went, "No, I didn't steal your nickname. Please don't hurt me. I'm asthmatic." See, man, I didn't steal your nickname, man, because you can't steal a nickname, can you? Because like someone else has got to give you the nickname. So you can't steal it. It's got to be organic. It's like mother's milk. He wasn't convinced by my sound arguments. He grabbed me by the shirt. He went, "Yo, give it back." How do you give back a nickname, man? Like, really, a nickname is just an abstract construct with only a vague notion of ownership. And that was when he hit me. So I never really liked the name Simon. I think this was all made worse by the fact that I really wanted my brother's name. So my brother was called Michael, right? And Michael's a really nice, versatile name. You can do loads with Michael. Yeah, you can be suave, sophisticated Mike. Yeah, you can be cool skateboarder Mikey. You can be take no nonsense Mick. You can be Jack the Lad, Mickey boy, Mickey boy, Mickey boy, Mickey boy. You can't do the same thing with Simon, can you? Simon boy, Simon, Sime. Yo, Sime. How's it going, Sime? What the fuck is a Sime? Just close your eyes now and picture a sign. I want everyone at home to picture a sign for me. I want you to think about what it looks like, what it smells like, what's it going to feel like. Yeah, it's fucking disgusting, isn't it? Yeah. There's a reason no one has applied the noun sign to any object yet. And that's because that object will immediately become valueless. And yes, I'm estimating a sign as being worthless. And that is another great piece of blocky-knocky nihilopilification. Woo! And I would be amazed if that word is on your Buzzwords crib sheet. So I was chatting to my mum about this, right? So a few years later, a few years into secondary school, I decided at some point that my name should have been David. Don't know why, just really like the name David. You know, other boys my age were lying awake at night going, I wonder when I'll feel my first boob. And I was there going, I wonder what my life would be like if I was called David. Make of that what you will, Freud. Speaking of my mother, I was telling her about this. I said, Mum, I've always wished that I was called David. And she went, oh yeah, that's funny. Because your dad wanted to call you David. But he got to name your brother, so I got to choose. I have to say, I do love my mother. I was telling her about doing this gig today. She said, the comedy's going well. I said, yes, it's going really well. She said, love life? I said, no, it's a bleak and depressing march towards a cold and ultimately uncaring end. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I've been Simon Hall. It's been a pleasure to be doing Buzzwords with you tonight. Have a great evening, everyone.
Simon Hall there. Thank you very much for that, Simon. How did you feel that went? Do you think you beat the Buzzwords?
Well, I don't know. I'm pretty sure Flocky Knocking a Hillipilification wasn't on there.
That was. Yeah, you're quite right with that one. Unfortunately for yourself, you got 4 of them. You just missed out, man.
Oh no.
But in fairness, the 4 were in the sort of the first half of your set, so it wasn't as if it was like seconds to go and it was the last minute or whatever. But we'll be revealing the full list of the Buzzwords later on tonight, so you can check out what ones that you've hit and any ones that you might want to avoid the next time you come on.
Brilliant.
Is there anything that you're wanting to plug, Simon?
Well, I'm a comedian in Bedford. I'm running a comedy night every Friday night at the Bedford Bandstand by the Embankment. So anyone who's near or looking for a thing to do on a Friday night, 7 o'clock by the Bandstand. Fingers crossed for the weather tomorrow.
Absolutely. It should be a good one. Even in Scotland, it's supposed to be nice weather. So surely in Bedford, it's going to be glorious.
We pray to the comedy gods.
We're hoping for it anyway. Pray to the comedy gods. Well, thank you very much for coming on, Simon, and we hope to see you again
Brilliant.
soon.
Thanks very much. It's been a real pleasure.
Brilliant. Thank you, Simon Hall. How good was that to start the night off? Absolutely love Simon and his stuff. Yeah, as I said, it was 10 minutes basically about his name. Can't go wrong with that. I don't know how much I could get off of my name, Ian McDonald. There's a few of us about. There's even another comedian called Ian McDonald that his picture was mistaken for mine once. Yeah. Anyway, there we go. That's enough of that kind of banter. So Simon hit 4 of the Buzzwords, but will our next guest be able to go one better, get the 3 Buzzwords, and possibly win that? Ooh, £5. And of course, you playing at home, listen out for the Buzzwords that are on your list. And once you hear the comedians say them, cross them off. Once you get to 3, get the message in, because it's the first one to 3 gets the £2. So, without further ado, we'll get our next guest on. It is Rabia Kun. How are we doing, Rabia?
Hey, I'm good. How are you doing?
I'm doing very well. You must be a glutton for punishment. This is your second time on the show.
It is.
So you're looking to bring the experience of the Buzzwords before. Obviously, you've written down all the ones that I announced at the end of that show. So are you going to circumnavigate them or just dive straight into whatever you want to talk about?
I'll see what I do.
I'm
not sure. I'm not sure which words I'll be using. Probably fuck, just to give one to the people. Right. Fuck. But yeah. That's it.
There's another little click for the fuck.
There you go. Always happy to contribute to the swear jar. So yeah.
Okay, Robbie, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. And take it away. Not me, Robbie.
Yeah, there we go. So I'm Rabia. I'll just get something out of the way right away. I am from America. Sometimes I get asked if I'm from Canada, and I'd like to say I am at this point. Honestly, just there was an article on Trump's hair today and how he needs to change shower heads because he can't get his hair clean enough. And I'm like, have you seen Trudeau hair? That's hair. This is hair. Trump hair is not really a thing. So anyway, from America though, that means I can't go home this year. That's what that means. I'm in London and I'm stuck. I'm stuck here, but kind of happy about it. I've been going out a little bit. You're allowed outside now, so I thought about talking with a British accent for a little while at least, just in case maybe I could get away with it and not seem so American. But I've done it a few times and it just sounds like I'm an American with a speech impediment. So I'm not really going to do that anymore, unfortunately. It was a good try, though. I have to say I gave it a good effort. So I don't know how everyone's doing with the whole coronavirus thing. One theory we heard was that the summer heat would kill coronavirus. We found out, at least this week in the UK, it didn't do that. It did kill the conversation about it, though. I think everyone got so preoccupied with trying to find deodorant because they had stopped wearing it. And they just kind of decided, okay, maybe my deodorant now and how I smell is more important than COVID for a few days. So I'm not going to complain about that. I'm just going to complain about the heat and everything else. So I don't know if you guys are feeling that, but at least for me, it was like a nice break from COVID, just almost dying of heat stroke a few days here. I know a few Americans are on right now, and they don't really do air conditioning in the UK. So I have a portable AC, and I had to choose which quadrant of my bedroom to heat to cool, because I couldn't even pick the whole room to cool. I had to choose what part of the room to cool. So hope everyone's doing well, though, and thanks for just joining online and being here. So I generally am a nice person. I'm from California. We tend to be known to be nice. I used to apologize too much in the past. I remember one specific incident. I was walking down the street in San Diego, and I just saw someone and I made eye contact. Hey, I would just always do that, like just kind of smile and say, hey. And the guy kind of had this panicked look on his face when I did that. And my eyes tracked down for a moment. And I realized I had interrupted him peeing. He was just peeing on the wall and he was midstream and I interrupted him. And so I said, sorry. As I walked down the street, I realized I shouldn't have really apologized because the guy was peeing on a wall on the street. And I had to see that. But I apologized too much. That's changed. I was walking down the street here in London and I saw someone peeing on my wall. And I said, hey, what are you doing? Get the fuck out of here. And that wasn't smart. And that's probably not something I would have done pre-COVID. But since I haven't seen anyone in a long time, I just kind of am off my game. And so I basically just said, okay, I said that to him. And then about a moment later, when he was done, he just calmly finished. And I don't know how guys do that. I probably would have been interrupted, to be honest. He looked at me and said, you're American. I'm British. You go home. You get out of here. And so I thought I was confronted by some sort of bigotry by a homeless guy who was peeing on my wall. But I was also scared, and I also realized, apologizing too much is not a bad thing. It's actually a good thing. So I think I'm going to stick back with what I did in America and just start apologizing anytime I interrupt someone peeing on the street. I think it's a good tactic to take. One thing I was doing at the time, though, was wearing a mask. And I'm a mask wearer, guys. I don't know if you are, but I am definitely a mask wearer. And I think I figured out the conspiracy, though. There's been a lot of conspiracy theories going around. I know who's actually starting these. It's estheticians and plastic surgeons. They really have no incentive for people to wear masks. Okay, like think about it. First of all, I almost wore a mask today because everyone's heard about the Quarantine or whatever people are gaining, but I have kind of a double chin, and I almost wore a mask just to cover that up. Because if you're wearing a mask, no one can see it, so that whole need for a facelift is gone. I have some people I know, I don't have to do this, but they have to wax their lip. You don't need to do that anymore if you wear a mask. So that's the esthetician angle. They don't want people wearing masks because they're gonna be happy with how they look. Also, like lip fillers and stuff. Lip fillers aren't needed if you're wearing a mask because again, it's covered up. Even the NHS is now saying if you want to have sex, you should just do it in a position where you're not facing each other. So again, more reason not to care about how your face looks. I do think, however, there's going to be a Botox boom though, because everyone's going to be about their appearance from the eyes up, and you definitely, if you have Botox, you're going to want to hide how you feel maybe about people, and so that might be the only thing that's surviving. But I'm pretty sure that these are the people starting the conspiracy theories. So one thing I've noticed is all my interactions are just like via phone now or via some kind of screen. Even this is via a screen, right? And I'm starting to get triggered by app notifications, guys. I don't know if anyone else is feeling that, but app notifications are driving me nuts. I've even started customizing them now just so I know who's contacting me, so I know how urgently I need to pick up the phone. In my work, we use Slack, and it's this kind of like a kind of weird sound, like a broom and a knocking, and I don't really know where they came up with that. I haven't heard that in real life. But now if I hear it in succession too many times, I just kind of freak out and shut my laptop because I can't deal with it. I know it means I have more work to do, and it's probably this one lady, who's just going to rapid fire instead of sending like an email. Because if you're going to send about 20 Slack messages in a row, you probably should have emailed, or you should have maybe done a little bit of work yourself. You know what I mean? Before you contacted me. The person I'm dating, they have their own sound, and now it's kind of getting weird because there's this tone on my phone called Pulse that just kind of turns me on. And so I'm getting a little worried about that, just that an app notification does that. And then I got tired of always hearing that ding thing that the iPhones do when you get a text. So I kept checking my phone, just, oh, is that my text? And so I changed it to this like noise. But now I'm kind of like nervous when one of my family or friends contacts me too, because it's this kind of violent noise. I don't know what to do about it, but the app notifications are driving me nuts. I'm starting to think I just need to turn them off altogether. But of course, then I won't get like messages that I need to get, like that I have a meeting starting that I'm late to, even though I'm sitting right in front of my computer and the meeting location is at my computer. That's one thing that's getting pathetic, is being late to things during this time, because you're literally where you're going to be for whatever meeting it is. So that's just another thing, like don't be late to meetings. So I guess another thing that I've noticed is like restaurants are reopening. That's happening everywhere, and I kind of don't miss them now. I was getting sick of my own cooking and maybe not a big fan of it, but you know what I'm a fan of is not paying very much for food. Like I've really been saving money during this time, and inadvertently, just because it's cheaper to cook for myself than it is to go to a restaurant. Like guacamole, for example, it cost me about 4 pounds, or like even $4 if you're in the US. You guys know what a pound is. Besides what you've gained, it's money. And it just costs 4 pounds to make guacamole, and that's 2 servings, right? You get these like one for now, one for later, 2-pack of avocados. You buy 1 lemon, you cut it in half, you use it for each batch, and you're pretty much solid. You add some other stuff. So I don't miss paying like $16.95 for tableside guac at a restaurant where some dude with a cart who takes way too long to get to you, takes way too long to make the guac, and charges you way too much for it. So I'm kind of like into my COVID dining plan right now. I also don't miss paying for something called an ice sphere. It's really an ice cube. It's just frozen water. But there are restaurants that charge you like $1. Like I made this G&T, this is a gin and tonic, because I'm British-ish now. And I have a cube in here. It's square. I use the same water I use for my water bottle and the same water I use to brush my teeth, really, to make this sphere. And it didn't cost me $1. So I'm just starting to feel like there is some benefit to this whole COVID dining plan I'm on. It's kind of like when I had points at the cafeteria when I was in school. You know, I got pretty decent food, and I just kind of swiped a card, and I didn't really know how much I was spending. And that's kind of what I feel like drinking at home is like, and eating guac at home is like. So I'm not really missing it. But yeah, I mean, otherwise, I hope everyone's doing well. The dating online's hard. The fuckboys are back. Just so you guys know, on Tinder, the fuckboys are back. They're ready to meet. I don't know if they're following the don't face each other rule when you meet them, but I'm kind of gonna delete the apps pretty soon because it was more fun when people just wanted to talk during lockdown, you know. So anyway, everyone have a good night. I gotta go swipe and see what's out there.
It's stuff, Rabia. That was some different stuff from what you did when you were on earlier, wasn't it?
It was all different. Yeah.
Pretty prolific writing there. Pretty prolific writing. People absolutely loving it. Simon agrees with, well, at least one of your points anyway. Do you want to tell us what that one was, Simon?
I think it was about his name being terrible. I'm not sure. I like his name, so I'm not going to say that, but yeah.
Well, Rob has come in saying that Simon's a terrible name. Oh, poor Simon. You'll have to write another 10 minutes on that as well. Pluto, the creator, has said hi. And Mr. Ian Bowden, friend of the show, said evening. So cool. Everyone's absolutely loving it. So how do you think you got on this time? Do you remember how many buzzwords you had last time?
It was like 3 or something. I think I ranked about the same as a few other people. Yeah.
I hate to tell you, you got 8 of them this time.
8 last time.
8 this time.
This time. Okay.
You hit 8 of the buzzwords. Whoa. Oh,
all right.
Jerome is saying, go Rabia.
My buddy Jerome. Yeah, that's nice. That's cool. Yeah. He tuned in. That's awesome. Yeah.
Cool. Well, Jerome, if you like the setup of this show, if you like guests like Rabia, go on to @UK Buzzwords on Facebook. We've got nights like this every couple of weeks. But yes, sadly, no £5 pot for yourself tonight, Rabia. Right. But have you had fun?
Yeah, it was great. No, I'm glad to be on here and glad to see you again too. It's nice.
Yeah, brilliant. Have you got anything that you're wanting to plug while you're on?
Just go to Rabia Comedy on Facebook, and I'll be posting whatever I'm doing online. But yeah, it's really nice to be here with you, and thanks for having me on.
Absolutely no problem, Rabia. We'll hope to get you on soon.
Definitely. All right. Yeah.
Oh. There's me with my great production values again. Got no idea what's happening with me tonight, but at least I'm not having to, I don't know, do 10 minutes of comedy. I'm just trying to be behind the scenes. Imagine I was actually on set tonight. Whew, God knows what happened then. Tim Winger saying nice. Assuming that's from Rabia. Great set there from Rabia. Rabia saying thank you. And Erica Klein saying great set, Rabia. I think we can all agree with that. Absolutely love that. Yeah, as I was saying to Rabia, if you like this kind of concept, listening out for certain words that comedians are saying to win yourself some cash prizes, go on to @UK Buzzwords on Facebook or search on JokePit for UK Buzzwords. And as I say, we'll have a show again, maybe in another couple of weeks' time, and we can have a chance to win some prizes. But next up, is he going to beat the buzzwords? Is he going to be the first tonight that beats the buzzwords? Please welcome Mr. Ray Davis. How are we doing, Ray?
Yeah, you were right. Beat the buzzwords, am I fuck?
Nah. You're that confident. Just put you off the now.
Not at all. Couldn't give a shit.
Couldn't give a shit. Yeah. Okay. So, are you ready to go then?
No. I'll come back next week and start off. No, I'm all right.
As long as you're good to go, then I'm good to go, and I'm glad to have you on the show, Ray.
Lovely. All right, good evening. First off, for confession, I tend to avoid these online gigs generally because we get no feedback at all. There's no laughter, there's no clapping. But I've done a lot of gigs on the London open mic circuit, so I'm quite used to that. And I just discovered this. I thought I'd share this with you. This isn't written, but I thought I'd share this with you. It's from South Ruislip Police. I don't know if you can see that. It's on Twitter. But they've had a combined effort with a neighbouring police authority on drug deals and drug dealers, and they're trying to get cannabis off the streets. But what made me laugh was they call it a joint patrol, which I thought was lovely. So anyway, I was going to do some reflections on recent events, but when all said and done, it's not been the most eventful year, has it? Apart from this niggly little bug that's been floating around, this viral nightmare that makes people sick, that has upturned all of Boris's plans for the forthcoming year or so, and appears to be without any cure or respite. By that, of course, I refer to Dominic Cummings. I mean, I could do 10 minutes of material just on him alone, but I'll leave you with just this one thought to ponder. What a cunt. Right, let's move on. Just want to do, yeah, I just want to show you this. It's my face mask. It's made out of denim. It's my COVID mask. And if there's anyone under 30 tuning in, ask your parents who quo were. They'll let you know. So, yeah, life has been upset. It's been changed a bit. If you want to sort of heckle me, by all means, chuck stuff in the comments. I'll have a chat with you. I don't mind. It's not like I've got material to fill in. It's cut quite a wake in its path as COVID, but I've got to be honest, it's the little things I miss. It's like being able to go shopping without wearing a mask. It's like not having to wash your hands more than once a day. I really miss gobbing in the street. I mean, I really miss just gobbing in the street. Everyone used to do it. You'd be walking along, minding your own business, and suddenly your spit gland goes into overdrive. Suddenly your mouth turns into a 10-foot gallon of fluids. You gob in the street. But now, out of nowhere, you get edible chewing gum in your mouth. What are you going to do? You're stuck. Admittedly, it makes a change. It's probably the first time in my life that I've had to make a spit or swallow decision, but there you go. Did you see in the news, in a major attack of the ironies, KFC are going to go cashless in order to protect the health of the nation. And the language of COVID, we've actually changed the language. Social distancing. I mean, surely it's physical distancing. We're not meant to be antisocial all of a sudden, surely. And COVID secure. No way do I want a deadly disease to feel secure. Let the fucker worry for a change like we've had to. It's only fair. And they call it the job retention scheme, which is actually a dress rehearsal for redundancy. The social bubble. The social bubble where single occupancy households can form a bubble with another residence. It is not a social bubble. Can we call it what it is? It's a fuck bubble. Quite straightforward. It's a fuck bubble. Thanks, you. I don't know. You throw me there, Hugh. You said something nice about me, and it's totally fucked me off now. I know it's on the screen. Yeah, go away, Hugh. Go away. Yeah, enough of the novel corona. Can we stop calling it the novel coronavirus? I mean, for fuck's sake, the novelty is starting to wear thin. And then there's unprecedented. I mean, if unprecedented is on your bingo card, that's the only word you're going to need. Unprecedented, the only thing that I can see that's unprecedented is how many MPs can't afford a thesaurus. I've got to be honest, the only silver lining of this whole thing that I can see is funerals. That the funerals have gone online. It's a real bonus not having to get dressed up or iron a shirt and that shit. And if the service is a bit dull, then a quick tap on the mute and a bit of Netflix until they get to the good bit. I can't see a downside. Compare this to the way we used to do funerals. I'll tell you about a mate of mine, Jerry. He was a bus driver for London Transport, and yeah, I went along to his funeral because he died, so it seemed convenient. He actually died peacefully in his sleep, which was okay. Passengers weren't so fortunate. And the funeral had been organised by the Bus Drivers Benevolent and Social Fund, and it was slightly tacky to have a combined cremation and barbecue, but there you go. As a special tribute to Jerry, the hearse didn't turn up for 45 minutes, and then 3 came along at once. The funeral itself was really moving, and it was his dying wish to have his ashes scattered over over the lake at Hyde Park, and I was given the honour of delivering the urn. And at that time of my life, I only had a moped, and so I strapped the urn back down to the back of the moped and driving along. And I can tell you, the potholes in London are shit. I mean, we're driving along, there's like potholes, ruts, the lid of the urn before it comes off, the ashes start to come out. I didn't realise Jerry's final resting place was actually the length of the Old Kent Road, but most of it fell in a bus lane, so it's probably what he would have wanted. I thought I couldn't disappoint his mother. I went home to see if I could find something that I could use instead of the ashes, and the only thing I had in the house was Jacob's cream crackers, so I crushed them up and I put them in the urn, and they look pretty effective. I'll just never forget the look on her face when the duck started to eat her son. And oh yeah. So I've been doing a lockdown. I've actually watched Anal Girls 3. I can thoroughly recommend it, which is quite unusual because sequels are more often not as good as the original film. I think, however, that they're planning an Anal Girls 4 because they left quite a few loose ends at the end of it. I've got a theory. I think that masturbation were to be called self-service, that there'd be a lot less stigma attached, but some very interesting decisions to make at the supermarket checkout. I challenge you, go on the Google after this. Don't interrupt the shit, but after this, go on to Google and look up pictures, portraits, paintings of Adam and Eve. Every single one of them, belly buttons. Think about it. Right? Yeah? Can you see the issue as well, or is it just me? I'm one of the unemployed now. I actually got sacked from a kettle factory for being a whistleblower. So I spent time at home, and I'm having a bit of a tidy up around the house, and I've just found a collection of euphemisms in my back passage. Oh, did you hear that Snoopy's gone on strike? He's fed up of working for peanuts, apparently. I really should have opened by telling you something about myself, and that was quite remiss. I'm actually separated, and you get to be a bit lonely when you're told. And I decided I needed to find some company. So, like every other sad and lonely fucker, I went down to the pet sanctuary, and there I was introduced to Tiddles. You cheeky man. Is that Beyonce and Kim Kardashian in the picture behind you? Yeah, all right. I'll leave that one there just to float. Yeah, so there I was introduced to Tiddles, and I love Tiddles. Tiddles, she's amazing, really good company. Previous owner didn't like her. He stuck her in a sack, took her down to the canal and tried to drown her, and I think that's dreadful because she's a lovely little goldfish. Of course, she won't swim now because she's been totally traumatized by the whole event. So I've had to put a little elastic band around her and a little balsa propeller on the back, and when I want to swim, I'll have to wind her up. So it's still like being married. And I do believe that's hit about 10 minutes, and I could give you a shitload more, but then again, I'll risk me buzzwords. So I'm going to leave it there. Thanks, Hugh. You've been good company, mate. Right, cheers.
Yeah, Hugh's been keeping us all going there as well as yourself, Ray. Got a couple more seconds out of him there. So did you enjoy that, man?
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. Different kind of talking to yourself, but, I'm used to that because I'm separated.
Talking to yourself or talking into a computer, it's, I don't know, one or the other, isn't it?
No, one of them's normally £1.50 a minute.
Well, yeah, that is very true. Unless you've got decent speed broadband, then hey, it's all free, isn't it? It's not dial-up anymore. So, do you think that you managed to beat the buzzwords then, Ray?
As you won't tell us what the buzzwords was, I haven't got a bleeding clue.
Well, there were 7 of them that you hit.
Yay!
Yay!
I was going for double figures.
Almost. Well, the next person might get into double figures. I don't think we've had anyone actually hit double figures as of yet.
It's a shame.
But
if I'd have won the £5, I'd have done a 3-course meal at Wetherspoons on a Monday.
Well, yeah, absolutely. Good value down there these days, but hey, sort of copy that with people getting sacked.
Yeah.
Well, we all dine with the devil. It just depends how long is your spoon.
It's a balancing act, isn't it?
It is indeed. Juggling act, balancing act, any old cliche you want to throw out at it.
Oh, I'll chuck them all out. Anyway, I've done me 20 minutes, so, you know.
Yeah, that's been great, Ray. Really enjoyed it, man. Is there anything that you're wanting to plug whilst you're on?
Well, I've got this little group on Facebook. I've got a bit of a reputation. A promoter called me a cuddly troll. And I've started up a little group on Facebook, which is our stupid suggestions of large organisations. So if you make any suggestion to me, I'll go away and badger big business, provided it is not something that will land me in court. And I'll report back on the answers. Normally I can get a little squeeze out of them. It's quite amusing.
Loving that idea, man. Loving that. So what is the group called again?
Our stupid suggestions of large organisations, I believe it's called.
Okay, so definitely check that out on Facebook. Rail got on the case, and you never know. Turtles might be available in Waitrose as we speak.
I did ask once of Sainsbury's, and the conversation took all day. It started with, there's no instructions on your bag of ice cubes. Are they best straight from the freezer, or do I need to defrost them first? And I kept that going all day. So, you know, just sow the seeds, sow the seeds. It's a bit of laugh.
Yeah, man, whatever gets you through the day, isn't it?
Yep, indeed it is.
That's exactly what it's all about. Well, Ray, thank you very much for coming on tonight, and we hope to see you soon.
I hope to be back.
Absolutely. Ray Davis there, hitting, what was it, 7 buzzwords, I think. My background's going all fuzzy and stuff like that. Is that an anticipation of our next guest? Well, let's, without further ado, bring him on. It is Mr. Julian Lee. How are we doing, Julian?
Well, not so bad, Ian. How are you?
I'm doing all right. Am I looking a bit fuzzy at the sides here?
You're doing all right,
Or
but
is that
it
just-
looks like you're being beamed onto the Starship Enterprise.
Yeah, attacked by some sort of... I'm not going to say what I was just about to say because it could be misconstrued.
Swarm of bees.
Swarm of bees. Big, angry swarm of bees. Well, it is buzzwords after all, isn't it? Well, Julian, do you think that you're going to be the man to beat the buzzword or the person to beat the buzzwords tonight?
Not a clue, fella, but I'll see what I can do.
Not a clue. We'll see what we can do. All right, well, I'm looking forward to seeing your 10 minutes, man.
Okay, fella. Right, hello. Oh, we started. Right, I better stop. We watching, mates. My name's Julian Lee. And what it is, basically, I've been listening to other comedians, and I think you've done really well. I would like to mention a couple of things, though. Simon doesn't like his name. Well, Simon, want to be trying being called Julian growing up in the West End in Newcastle in the 70s and 80s? That was a laugh, let me tell you. Now, Burns, the Scottish poet, he was Rabbi, but the second comedian on tonight, she was Rabia. Extra jokes for you there. Hugh asked Ray a question if that was Kim Kardashian and Beyonce behind him. He said he was going to leave it there just to float. I think he's getting Beyonce mixed up with buoyancy. But never mind. We'll move on. Right, I'm a one-liner comedian, so what we're going to do is we're going to throw some one-liners at you. Hopefully they'll make you laugh. If they don't, well, it's a free show. What are you complaining about? Right then, so I'm at a certain age, and I've had loads of jobs. For example, I used to support the rights of workers in a napkin factory in Moscow. I was in the Soviet Union. I've actually just started a new job this week. And my new boss come over to us. He says, your old boss has sent your reference over from the helium factory. he speaks very highly of you. Now, I don't like to brag, but when I left my job at the nuclear reactor, I got a glowing reference. I've even tried to be self-employed before. I set up a retreat for ADHD sufferers to help them focus. With hindsight, I should have picked a better name than concentration camp. Actually, to be honest, I'm a maths teacher. And people say to us, Julian, why did you choose maths over English? So I tell them, fractions speak louder than verbs. Education joke. I'm not going to say anything about A-levels. My son gets his GCSEs next week. I'm not looking forward to them now. As if there's any further reason to hate this government. But I'm not a political comedian, so I'll move on. Right, actually doing an online gig is nice because, you know, I mean, I might get heckled in the comments, but you're not going to get heckled from the crowd. Because the last gig I did before lockdown, I walked on stage, and before I even said a word, this bloke shouted out, I bet you don't have any jokes about ships having sufficient chimneys. Funnily enough, no. Now, I'm at the age where I worry about my health. So I went to see the doctor, and it turns out I've got an aversion to chickpeas from above the equator. It's a northern hemisphere. So I started worrying about my health, started worrying about my family's health. And when I found out that my cousin, my dyslexic cousin, had a worrying cough and lung infection, I advised him to call the TB helpline. And now he's got a 12-month landline and broadband contract. The Beecham's powder that I bought didn't cure me cold, so I wrote them a snotty letter. Insomnia. Living the dream. Bit of a thinker here for you. Bit of a thinker. How we doing? Are we all right? We all right? Good. Right, I've got a teenage son, as I mentioned. He gets his GCSEs next week. But last week, he accused us of being obsessed with the song YMCA. I said, young man. And then he asked us another question. I need to check something though. Do we all know what dabbing is? Yeah, when the kids do that. So he said to us, he said, son. He didn't say son, he's my son. He said, Dad, do you dab? I said, of course I don't, son. I use a rolled up note and snort. Don't think he was expecting that, to be honest. Sometimes I look in the mirror and I think you need to take a long, hard look at your life. And other times, I just snort the line straight off. Right, I'm going to sneak 3 new jokes in now. You have been warned. Since my girlfriend took up Pilates, she's been more flexible than a contortionist on a 0-hour contract. Yeah. Workers unite. Yeah. The civil rights leader with the most sexual fetishes was Martin Luther King. I'll tell you who was a tearaway when she was a young girl. Cheryl Velcro. I like to try new things. Last week, I took a horticulture class, but she didn't like opera. I finally got around to watching The Exorcist. I had to change my underpants twice. I genuinely didn't think it would turn us on that much. All right, I haven't watched it tonight. You're all right. Right. Now, the next joke is lowbrow, highbrow. Lowbrow, highbrow. So when you hear the lowbrow bit, you know there's a highbrow bit coming. Okay? I came on my girlfriend's face whilst reading J.D. Salinger. Catch her in the rye? No, she was wearing her glasses. Come on, if you don't laugh at that, come on. My mate reckons he saw a scarecrow masturbating, but I think he's just clutching at straws. Do you think they put Mexican prisoners in tequila slammers? Just seen Ian's reaction to that there. The woman next door is given hand jobs to plumbers, electricians, scaffolders, joiners. She's a jack off all trades. The most clumsy 80s pop star was Bullinder China Shop. I've got an interesting new neighbour, a Scottish cyclops called Ian, ironically with 2 eyes. Here's something for you to consider. Why are Liverpool fans so concerned that someone didn't use aftershave? They're always singing that song, "You never wore cologne." You never wore cologne. Sad news, the Dutchman who invented inflatable shoes has popped his clogs. In further sad news, the man who invented the needle threading machine is in a coma. In a cruel twist of fate, doctors have said he won't pull through. I've just finished a book about an argumentative Russian monk disputing. Okay, right, my cat's just jumped on the table there, so hello there. You all right? Right, now, I hope you don't mind. I know it's a comedy night, but I've written a poem. So I'm going to read the poem out if you don't mind. There's the cat. I told you I wasn't just making it up for a prop. Sorry, Noodle, I'm a bit busy. So I've written a poem. It's called The Reluctant Cowboy. Okay? So thank you for your patience. This is very important to us. The Reluctant Cowboy. I'm not getting on that fucking horse. You didn't really think you were getting a poem, did you? See, there's not even anything there, it's just a blank piece of paper. Noodle, you're going to have to go. Right, if you like cats, this looks cute. If you don't like cats, I apologise. My cats are beautiful, by the way. Right, then, I've got a friend, and they're cross-eyed. So I said to them, is being cross-eyed a burden? They said, well, you can look at it 2 ways. I'll tell you which serial killer you would have never been able to hang. Ted Bundy. Don't ask us to do the main for that, though. Homicide is when you kill a man. Suicide is when you kill yourself. Teesside is when you lose the will to live. Right, last joke for you. I'll just stroke the cat and I'll tell the last joke. Last weekend, I took my pet lizard to a convention in Zurich. Imagine my shock when I walked in and it was just limp penis after limp penis. Turns out I'd misheard and it wasn't a reptile's dysfunction. Right, thank you very much. My name's Julian Lee.
Hey, Julian, how are you doing?
All right there.
That was great. There was a few there that I certainly hadn't heard before. Absolutely loved every single one of them.
Good, good. You sweet talker.
You were doing so well up until I think it was your final joke.
Oh,
You got 4, man.
Never mind.
Right. You get 4 of them, man. Oh, it was your final joke. I'm going to go through the list just now of all the buzzwords that were said tonight. Right, we started out with, this is in no kind of particular order, but organic, China, Liverpool, cats, and lizard. I think that was your last joke. We had school, family, Trump, homeless, iPhone, Tinder, London, Boris, Cummings, face masks, coronavirus, lockdown, and kettle. So that gives you a sort of flavour of exactly what the buzzwords are. So a total of, how many were said throughout the night? Let's have a look. There were 18 said throughout the night. A few said a couple of times. But you just missed out with that last joke, man.
Yeah, well,
If only the cat hadn't put you off.
cat didn't put us off. The cat just added an aesthetic to the set, you see.
Absolutely, yeah. So have you got anything coming up, anything you're wanting to plug, Julian?
Yes, if you don't mind, Ian. Well, as you know, I do the UK pun-off on a Sunday night at 7 o'clock UK time. Ian's hosting this Sunday, and I'm one of the punners. And after about 3 years of neglect, I'm trying to build up a YouTube channel. I've gone from 11 subscribers to 69 subscribers. No joke. I didn't pick that number to be funny. In about 9 days. So I'm really looking to build that up. So if you just type in Julian Lee on YouTube, you'll find us on there, So thank you for letting us plug that in.
Absolutely no problem at all. And we shall hopefully see you soon, Julian. Well, that was Buzzwords for another episode. Unfortunately, none of our comedians managed to beat the Buzzwords on the night. And I don't think we've had any. We've got Ian Bowden has come in saying he got 2 of the words, but close only counts in horseshoes and hand grenades. Absolutely. I think Ian Bowden has actually won some money on this before. And I'll just have a quick look at the sweepstake to see who has won that. We have had a total of 11 fucks on the night. Quite conservative, I must say. I think that is the lowest that we have ever had. So a nice clean family show of sorts. So having a little look, Ian Bowden actually has won the fuck sweepstake with his guess. So Ian, I shall be sending that money to you via your PayPal. If I think I've got your email address, I shall send that on to you. So very well done, Ian Bowden. Thank you very much to Simon Hall, Rabia Kuhn, Ray Davis, and Julian Lee. If you like what you've seen, if you like the concept, follow us at UK Buzzwords on Facebook and at Buzzwords on JokePit. And we shall hope to see you again soon.